Hi, everybody. Welcome to our latest edition of Weekend Chat with yours truly and TK.
Hello, everyone.
There she is right there. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, I'm fine. I'm doing fine. What about you?
Yep, hanging in there, getting ready for next week, right? We're having the big reopening here in Switzerland of shops and restaurants. Have you already booked a table anywhere?
I haven't. I know Monday, the 11th of May, everything is opening, but I still feel like you got so used to this lockdown cooking at home that I feel it's almost surreal that it's opening up next week. So I haven't. What about you?
No, no, not me. Me too. Me too. I mean, and you think about all the restrictions that are coming along with it, and I mean, I'm curious to see how that's going to work out.
They even spoke about having all the contacts of the guests noted down in case if there is an outbreak in a restaurant that they can contact all the people that visited the restaurant on that day. So basically have a contact tracing in place, but now it's not mandatory anymore. So it's a big discussion if they shall keep the data or not, which leads me to also this contact tracing app, which was supposed to be launched on May 11 as well here in Switzerland. Now that has also been postponed for later in summer. But if you want to find out more about the contact tracing app, I actually did a package where I explain how it works. At least you know how it works when it finally comes out. Coming back to restaurants, AM, you spoke to a chef this week. What did he have to say about the lockdown?
Yeah, I got to speak with Frank Giovannini, who is the chef of, you ready for this? It's a bit of a mouthful. It's the Restaurant de l'Hôtel de Ville de Clissier. So it's quite a high-end establishment on the west side in the French-speaking part of Switzerland. And yeah, talked about what it's going to look like for them. For him, he says it's not going to make a big change. He's only going to be able to open with 2 tables less, but he's going to have to find a place to feed his staff because his staff can't all sit together and eat. So, and things like, it brought up challenges like they cannot take the coats from the guests, so they're going to have to work out if they hang their coats on the back of the chair. Small details like this, and they cannot hand the menu to the guests and then take it back. They have to set up a way in that nobody touches the menu. I mean, again, small details, but I can understand how they would potentially be a logistical nightmare for any restaurant, any establishment. But anyway, fortunately for them, he says the reservations are already coming in. So in the short run, he's not worried about the clients coming back. It's more long term if they are going to be able to continue to come back, right? In the future and in the months ahead. But besides that, what I took away from this was what he called the silver lining of the lockdown for him was that he was home with his family.
If one thing was positive is, I spent a lot of time with my family, and I usually don't. I'm working all day. When I'm here in a restaurant 5 days a week, I don't leave the restaurant. So that was a good thing to have a little time for me.
Yeah, and I can imagine that chefs usually are very, very, very busy. So that's actually something nice about the lockdown. And talking about chefs, and also good news, I'm sure you know Massimo Bottura, the chef, the Italian chef from Netflix. I think he was in the show called Chef's Table. And he actually has this project called Refettorio, so in Italy, but also in France. So the Refettorio in Paris is a place where they usually cook for homeless people, for people in need. And what is special about the restaurant is that they always try to have different chefs cooking, sometimes Michelin star chefs, and sometimes they even have stars such as Pharrell Williams serving their guests. But now with the lockdown, it has also been closed down, the Refettorio, but they still want to keep that project helping other people. And they now are using their restaurant as a logistics center where they're getting all these food donations and then cooking meals for people in need. And meanwhile, over 40 restaurants joined, and they're all cooking meals for all these people. But let's take a listen.
Some people were on the edges, between poverty and they could still live with what they had. They are now on the wrong side of the poverty line. And these people will need to be helped. And I think we need probably to find a way to continue for maybe a year maybe longer, to help those people, not only to eat, but also to get back to their normal life, to get back to have their own, self-esteem, to talk with people who are, helping them to find a way to get back to work. So it's not only food, it's attention, it's care.
And for Refectoria's resident chef, it's more than just giving.
J'apprends beaucoup de ces personnes et c'est pour ça que je suis dans ce projet, c'est que je ne suis pas que en haut de l'échelle en train de donner à quelqu'un qui est dans le besoin, mais en fait, j'apprends énormément au contact de ces personnes-là parce qu'ils ont un passé, ils ont une histoire, ils ont une vie et c'est très important de souligner. C'est un échange entre les deux personnes.
And it's grown into reputation also. French artist JR is backing the cause and using his influence to support it.
And of course, TK, that story is part of the hashtag 2020. This is an organization that we are also involved with and that we are supporting, collaborating, and sharing their stories. Again, they're a digital platform. They collect stories from all over the world of positive news and good news that have been born a bit of this corona crisis. So yeah, hashtag save 2020.
AM, another thing I saw is that you spoke with Roche CEO Séverine Schwan this week about their antibody testing. Also had an uninvited guest during the interview.
Here she is. Hi.
Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
Oh, yay. Hi. Hi, beauty. I mean, it's funny to be interviewing CEOs from my house anyway, but add to it that my 5-year-old, of course, doesn't understand that even if the door is closed, doesn't mean she can stay out, that she must, that she cannot come in. So yeah, halfway through, she wandered in, and it just reminded me of that BBC moment that we showed on a few episodes back, right? And we were kind of laughing about that, haha. Well, yeah, that happened to me. Luckily for me, it wasn't live, so it was pre-recorded, which is why we didn't interview. Yeah, he was really sweet, I have to say. He was really gracious. He didn't skip a beat, and then even told me that at least he wasn't alone, because the previous day he'd been doing interviews on the whole antibody topic from home. So he said he had his own challenges. Yeah, it was sweet.
This was really a funny interview. Again, send my regards to your daughter.
I even heard him saying you should put this on air, which you didn't. So he really felt comfortable about it.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll send him a clip of this. Maybe we'll have a new fan of hashtag Again Chat. Who knows?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So good. So good.
That was sweet. So anyway, it's time to wrap it up. Don't you think, TK?
Yep. And we want to leave you with some incredible images by our cameraman Seb, who caught the supermoon. And usually it means that the moon is at the closest point to Earth along its orbit around our planet, which looks like this.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week, yeah?
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining.